Hi Flosstube, I'm Sarah, Cross Stitch Sarah, here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. Welcome to my channel. This channel is all about cross stitch and I've got loads to show you today and loads to talk about, and yeah, it's going to be quite an exciting one, I think. Let me just grab my notes. Today is Sunday the 7th of December 2025 and this is Flosstube number 33. So hi everyone, welcome if you are coming back and you've watched me lots of times before, and thank you. And if you are a subscriber, thank you very much. Thank you also to anyone who's newly subscribed. I've had quite a few since my last video, which is really lovely and I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. And anybody that's here for the first time by accident, then I hope you enjoy the video and we'll come back again and consider liking and subscribing and doing all the YouTubey things. That would be great. Hi everyone, so it's been a couple of weeks and this is my next regular Flosstube, but I'm also going to incorporate into it my 2026 plans. So that is the main part really of this video. So I am going to do a quick kind of whiz through since you saw me last time. This is progress I've made and what I've done and so on, and there's a little bit of haul. There's a giveaway winner to announce from last time, a new giveaway, and then I'm going to tell you all about my 2026 plans. So yeah, the first bit, I don't want to rush it, but I'm not going to, well, hopefully not going to waffle on too much. So we'll see how that goes. So let's get going. Firstly, let's start with the giveaway winner from the last video. So Sammy at Little Loops Stitching, the Old Barn Stitching Co. Kindly gifted me a copy of this chart, which I'll pop a picture in here, a PDF copy of Winter Companions, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Loads of people went off and bought it, and loads of us are stitching it as a bit of an informal stitch along, start along. We kind of started on the 1st of December, you'll see mine in a bit. And she kindly said that I could pass on a copy of the PDF to someone on my channel, so I did a giveaway. You had to enter the keyword winter, and there were 32 comments using the using the word winter, and I drew used the random comment picker thingy and drew a winner, and it is the Dotty Daisy. So I believe that's Alison. So Alison, if you can get in touch with me, my email address is down below, or you can message me on Instagram, and I will just need your email address for where you would like me to send your PDF copy of Winter Companions. So well done, Alison. Now I know that Alison is in Australia. She very kindly recently gifted a chart to Bethany, my daughter-in-law, over at Ducks and Crosses. And it was a hard copy chart, and she posted it all the way from Australia to Bethany, which was super kind. So yeah, that was brilliant. So I know that I haven't got to post anything physical to you. So yeah, just your email address will do, Alison. Thank you. I'm going to do a giveaway a bit later on. I'd show you it now, but listen, if you could see this ironing board, it's so precariously stacked. It's unbelievable. So I'm not going to drag that out because I put it at the bottom, obviously. But I will be doing a giveaway, and it's for the Stitcher's Journal, which is a journal. I think it's a Stacey Nash journal. That I am not going to use next year because I've got my almanac, so I'm going to do a giveaway for that. It is not dated, so if you've got a journal for next year, this one doesn't have a year on it, so you can use it any year, if you see what I mean. So yeah, we'll have a look at that later. Okay, quickly I'm going to show you the cotton and twine box that arrived to me this week. So this is the December box that will be coming out. So if you're already a subscriber, or if you want to subscribe, you've got till the end of the month. So it's great. You've got all month. And this, if you get the whole box, is, let me try and wrangle this. This is a kind of look at what you'll get, she says. Not showing you anything. Oh my goodness, it's like I've never done this before. So this is the box. So let's have a look. So this is the absolutely gorgeous design. And this is Two Owls, and it is by the lovely Crochet Go-Go. So Cotton and Twine, historical sampler, have collaborated again with Crochet Go-Go. So I think it was the September box, had two foxes and the word autumn. And this is kind of the next in the series. So it's our winter one. and it is 2 hours. I absolutely love this so much. So that's the design. You get your clear chart, colour and black and white, and let me just double check, but I'm sure you get, yep, you get a QR code inside the chart, so you can download a PDF copy of it if you prefer to work from Pattern Keeper or Markup RXP or a similar platform. So that's the design. You get your lovely East of India bag, which will contain your fabric of choice, which will be Aida or linen, 16 count Aida or 32 count linen, and all the pre-sorted threads, and there is always a needle tucked in the back of those threads as well. Then you get a sweet treat, which this time is Prosecco Rosé gummies. Yep, gummies. Can't wait to try those. Love me a drop of Prosecco. The gift is the most gorgeous needle minder. I absolutely love it. Look at it. You get your tea, which you always get. And then you get the finishing items, which are this gorgeous gingham backing fabric and some red twine to go around the edge. So that's what you get if you subscribe for the whole box. Now, as I've said before, if you've been here before, you will know that you have different options for signing up for the Cotton and Twine subscriptions now. You can just get the PDF. If you don't want any supplies and you don't want the gift box with all the extra bits and bobs in, you can just sign up for the PDF. You can sign up for just the kit, which will give you the chart, the pattern, the threads and the fabric. Or you can sign up for the whole box, which is this. The whole box is £20 or £22 depending on your fabric, and I will pop a little screenshot here so you can see the other prices. I think a PDF is £7 a month if I remember rightly. So you subscribe, you're under no obligation. You can cancel that subscription at any time. You can change it at any time. So if you've had the PDF but now you want the kit, or you've had the kit but now you want the box, you can change it at any time. You can pause it if you've seen because you will see the design in advance. If you think, oh, it's not really my kind of thing, I don't want to stitch that, you can pause your subscription. It's so flexible. If you haven't subscribed before and you want to, you can use the code FIRST15, FIRST FIRST15, and you will get 15% off your first subscription. So if you just want to give it a go, just try it with the code, and then you know it's brilliant. They are great value. I am gifted these boxes. I always say that. I don't hide the fact that they gift them to me. If they didn't, I would be buying them. They are super quality and I absolutely love them. So that's coming in December. Right, where am I going to throw that? Because I've literally got no room in here. Okay, so this time stitching since you last saw me, I have one finish, one start and finish, something that I started and finished on the same day because it was only tiny. 3 new starts. Yeah, I know. You knew that was coming though. I have completed my second WIP Go number, so they're all done for November. And I worked on 6 different projects in the last couple of weeks. So let's whiz through these. My finish, which was last night, is my last hair. And here it is. So again, if you've been here before, you know that I have done a hair a month throughout the whole of 2025. So I started all 12 as part of 12 in 12 on the 31st of December last year. I started at 12 noon and did a little tiny bit to start each one every hour until midnight. It was really good fun. And then I've picked them up each month as we've gone along and completed them. So yeah, I love this one. It's so pretty. They have all been stitched on the same fabric, which is why I got 32 count Murano even weave in Vintage Country Mocha. And predominantly, this one I have used the called for DMC. Predominantly I have all the way through. I think I made a change to 1 or 2 of them, but nothing much. So that is my last one. So I am 12 for 12. I literally have completed every one every month. Okay, some of them have been down to like the wire, like the last day of their month, but still, right? So I'm super, super pleased. In my next regular Flosstube, I will, no, I won't. In my not my next regular Flosstube, but after that, I'm going to do a sort of 2025 roundup, and I will show you them all. I'd like to say they'll all be FFO'd. You know, you never know. Don't hold your breath, guys. So that was my finish. Then my start and finish was part of this little design. So this came in the Historical Sampler Company Advent box, and I was gifted the box by Historical Sampler Company. And I have been showing, although I am a few days behind, I have been showing on my Instagram the different things that we've received each day. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see in my next regular Flosstube in 2 weeks' time everything that I have received. I haven't bought any of the Advent stuff up here to show today because I know I'm not going to have time. But if you do want to see all the Advents, I have had 3 Advent calendars. So if you want to see what I've been getting, and you perhaps don't follow me on Instagram or don't have Instagram or whatever, if you want to see all the Advent things, let me know and I will show them alongside everything else in my next regular video. But this was one of the things. So we got a bag in the top of the box that contained finishing bits and pieces, and all the threads we'll need for any designs that come up. And this was the first pattern to come up, Christmas Bar. So I did my version, which was a total and utter blatant copy of Laura from Cotton and Clay UK or Butterfly Stitches 83. She has a Flosstube as well, which I might not be able to link. I don't always seem to be able to link her Flosstube, but go find her. She's got a great channel. She's doing Flossmas as well, so she's got loads of videos out. But she decided to just do one sheep and the tree, and then the board, you know, move the border in. So I just totally copied her. And on Wednesday this week, I had to have that's a bit more like the real colour of the fabric. I had to have the day off on Wednesday to wait in for some packages that I didn't want leaving to get wet and what have you on the doorstep. You know, it's such a hardship having to stay in all day. So I started and finished this while I was sat at home. So that was my SAF, my start and finish. Okay, so 3 new starts, which you all knew were coming all on the 1st of December. I know, crazy, right? So one of them was the Winter Companions chart, which I have just shown you, but I will put another picture here. Sammy's lovely chart that she very kindly gifted to me. And this is my start. So let me bring that in so hopefully you can see it. And yeah, so a little start there. This is on 40 count Swagot raw linen, which I think was what Sammy had done it on. And then I'm using the cord 4 threads, which are Weeks Dye Works with, I think, 2 or 3 DMCs, although I have changed my dark brown. So the antlers and the nose and the eye were a darker brown DMC, but mine was, or it seemed quite close to the Havana, which is what's been used for the deer. If you can see, there's some variegation in there. So I did use a different one. I can't remember what I used now. If you want to know, then do ask and I will look it up. So yeah, I got a little start on him. Then my second start was on, I will pop a picture in here. It is Christmas Wishes by Little Dove Designs. So Bethany was starting and has started Welcome to the North Pole by Primrose Cottage, which is a similar kind of long design. So I decided that with her, I would start Christmas Wishes. And this is where I got on that. So not super far, but actually that's quite a lot of stitches, to be honest. So yeah, I've got the border going and got that little tiny tree in at the top. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some more done on that. Then the third start was the Holiday Countdown, which is the advent calendar from collaboration with Modern Folk Embroidery, who has done the chart, and then Evertote and Roxy Floss Co, who have put the box together with all the other things that are in it. So part 1 was it was number 1 in the advent calendar. Sorry, I could hear a noise. It's like everything's shifting. Just don't want anything to fall off. And yeah, so we got the first part of the design, and each day we get a part of the design and a Roxy Floss Co thread to stitch that part of the design. So this is where I am up to. So I don't have a picture because there isn't a picture every day at all, and it's just the chart, and we don't know what the end piece will look like. It's probably a bird theme. The title of it is A Pretty Song, and this is, I think I'm up to partway through day 4. I'm behind because I wanted to get the hair finished, so I stopped working on this. But basically, we've got more leaves to finish off going round. Then there's some little flowers that come in around the edge. Then there's a couple of little birds up here. And I think today's has got some more sort of flowers coming in down here, or leafy bits. So yeah, I'll be getting back to this afternoon. But yeah, super excited about it. This is on the fabric that was supplied. You could choose your count. I chose 40 count, and it is Vanilla Custard, I believe, by Roxy Floss Co. And then, like I said, we've been getting a thread a day. I didn't bring them up. I should have brought them up. That was a bit remiss. But yeah, the next one will be a really gorgeous mustardy yellow called Colonel Mustard. So yeah, I'm excited to put that in. So yeah, that was the needle minder that we were also given on day 1, along with a matching hanging ornament and a little ring for your threads. Yeah, it was really good. And so far we've had little extras. So we had some sweets one day, and we've had some needles today. So yeah, so it's going to be really great. I'm really excited to get back to that this afternoon. Okay, so that was 3 new starts. My second WIP go number for November, which I completed after I last filmed, was Put a Bird on It by Modern Folk Embroidery. That is in this big pile of stuff over here, waiting for the plans section. So you'll see that then, because I'm not dragging it out of there. Actually, I'm not quite sure which pile it's in, to be honest. Oh, it's way over there. So yeah, you'll see that in a bit, but that has been completed. And like I said, I've worked on the 6 different projects, so that's those. Okay, so got a bit of haul. Where's my giveaway? Down here. Let's do the giveaway for anyone that doesn't want to watch the plans, or you can just skip ahead anyway, can't you? So the giveaway today is for Stitcher's Journal. Like I said, this has been designed by Stacey Nash Designs. It's a paperback, just a sort of flat one. And then inside each month is laid out like so. You'll be able to see that very well, are you? Let me see. Trying to cover up the charts at the bottom. So they're laid out like that. So you've got notes section, a little bit of the sampler and the days. There is a little chart there behind my hand as well. And like I said to you, it's not dated with a year, so you can write your own month in there and the dates as you go along. Goals this month is the little notes section. Every page is like that, so it has a little bit of a picture of what the design is. It has note sections and basically diary pages that you can fill in. Does it have anything else? There's a bit of blurb at the beginning to tell you all about it, all about the journal. There's big, what's that going to show? Squared paper pages at the back if you want to do any sort of charting or recharting of your own. There's notes pages, lined pages for notes. So it's quite a nice little booklet, to be honest. So if you'd like to win this, even if you're not going to use it next year because you might already have a journal, but you want to use it whenever, whatever year, then please leave me a comment and use the word journal. Can't see that backwards. So Journal, journal. Is that what I said? Yeah. So comment with adding the word journal or just the word journal. I'm not expecting any sentences or quips or funny things. Just the word journal will do, and then you'll be entered into the giveaway, and I use the random comment picker, and that will be picked in 2 weeks time. I think it's the 21st of December will be my next regular Flosstube, and that's when I will pick the winner for this. Okay, so little bit of haul, not got masses but a little bit. Right, I did get some bits from the lovely Adele at TaylorMade Stitching sent me a lovely little card, and lovely Adele always puts a little handful of cute stickers in with her items. I will probably add a few stickers and bits and bobs into the journal prize as well. Maybe a pen, you know, little extras. We'll see. It's Christmas. So stickers, because I bought scissor fob. Oh, I might need this board actually. Let me tip those off there. I bought a couple of scissor fobs and a couple of zipper pulls, matchy, obviously. Let me see if I can show those like that. There we go. So I got Santa, scissor fob and matching zipper pull. And I got, I'm looking for somewhere to put all these. I got gingerbread house, scissor fob and zipper pull. Oh, I've got that one all twisted now. I can't untwist it one-handed, but there we go. So absolutely gorgeous. I've got quite a few. If you've been here before, you know I've got quite a few because I've got loads of scissors because I love scissors. So I will link Adele's coffee shop below. She has some fabulous zipper fobs and zipper pulls and scissor fobs. And you can reach out to her on Instagram if you don't want to go through the coffee shop. She's really approachable, really lovely lady. So yeah, she is my go-to for scissor fobs. Well, that's not true because I've got loads of others, but I have got quite a lot of Adele's. I picked up a couple of charts because I was placing an order with Peakside for something else, well, for some little gifts, and she'd got a sale on certain charts, and this was one of them. I've never done a Prairie Schooler Santa. I know. Loads of people have. Some people do them every year, and I've never done one. So because this was on offer, I thought, right. So this is Santa from 2019. Now, again, if you've been here before, you know why I've picked this one, right? I love a sheep. So I am going to change some of the colours because I don't think... So Santa's coat is in DMC 221, which is quite a rusty red, and I don't like it. I want a nice bright red. So I might even use a fancy floss for that. And I'm going to change his green as well, which is like something like 502, is it? 501, which again is a bit... It's just a bit dull for me, really. And I did think I might use, instead of white in his beard and what have you in the sheep, I might use more of a sheep colour, bit creamer, a bit browner, I guess a bit more drab, but you know what I mean. So yeah, so looking forward to starting that. And I did pick up, which I haven't taken out of the plastic, this little one as well. Not sure if it was on offer, I can't remember, but I just liked it. So cute. Little House Needleworks, Snow in Love. Oh, it's just so cute. So yes, got me those. Like I say, I was shopping for gifts, so it's all right. Right? Oh, I can't get that back in there. Okay. Then I got a lovely package with this card because I'd placed an order from Nikki at Nikki Knacks Crafts, and I will link her below. She has a floss tube. She's doing Flossmas. She's doing WIPmas, which is brilliant. Lovely card. I bought one of her bags, and it was wrapped in this tissue paper with this gorgeous, I've got that the right way up, gorgeous Merry Christmas seal, like wax seal on it. And so I said I ordered a bag. This also came, which is a gorgeous little key ring as a free gift, as a thank you. It's very glary. It says be happy, and there's a little bee charm, as you can see there. So thank you, Nikki. Obviously, I have already said thank you. And the bag that I got is this. Absolutely gorgeous. This retro Santa Christmas design. Oh, so it's just so lovely. Just a top zip, and inside is just a lovely matching sort of blue. Really beautifully made. Yeah, gorgeous. So thank you, Nikki. I will also link Nikki's coffee shop below if you'd like to go and have a look what bags and bits and bobs she's got in her shop. Then I also got some more bags from the wonderful Pauline at Sobe Bags. You know me, I love a Pauline bag. Pauline very kindly popped in some pulling that the wrong way. Hold on, because these are all going to come apart. Oh dear, that's made a mess of that, hasn't it? All right, the ribbon was coming undone. 2 lots of gorgeous floss drops, like tea designs. I mean, I think they're all the same in each one. Yeah, but there's a decent amount in each one there. So thank you so much, Pauline. They're really gorgeous. I absolutely love them, especially this one. This one's my favourite, but they are just lovely. So that was very kind, a very kind little gift. And I bought some bags, and I always, I have asked Pauline before, so now it's just a kind of given that that she makes me a matching grime guard, which I pay for as well, obviously. But so each bag comes with its matching grime guard. So this is one. I got these in her latest bag sale on Instagram. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, again, quite a retro Christmas fabric. Her signature lace trim. And inside it's just a plain, just a plain sort of cream. And then, like I say, gorgeous matching 11-inch grime guard, because 11-inch Q-snap is my kind of go-to. And they do fit around one of the large Nurge hoops as well, actually. So they're very versatile. I also got this one, the sort of gingerbread houses on. Oh, it's just so pretty. And in my defence, I didn't have any Christmas bags. That's a lie. I've got one Christmas bag that's in use, but I didn't have any others for all my other Christmas designs. I think this has just got plain lining as well. And matching grime guard to go with that one too. And then the last one is this one. Gorgeous little houses on, more wintry, I guess, than Christmassy. And yeah, beautiful, and matching grime guard. So stunning stuff from Pauline as always. Her bags are beautiful, perfectly made. Yeah, I just love them. So I don't think they've got anything in their coffee shop at the moment, because it's her and her daughter Sarah. But I will link the coffee shop below anyway. And Pauline's Instagram. So Pauline is on Instagram. She does a bag drop every month, but you can reach out to her as well. She's very approachable. She's a lovely lady. So yeah, if you want a really good bag, Pauline, Nikki, you know, there's lots of bag makers out there who make great bags, but I love me a Pauline bag. And then the only other bit of haul were some, you're probably not even interested, I bought some Q-snaps. So my favourite 11 by 11. And I have been getting them from 123 Stitch in America, which might seem like, really? But they work out in in pounds, they're something like £10, 76, 36. They're less than £11. So even if you only buy one and add on the $4.49 shipping, they're still cheaper than buying one Q-snap here, which you would then pay postage on. It's crazy. I could buy 3 from America for less than, yeah, it's ridiculous, the price difference. And because 123 Stitch have such great shipping costs, it's a bit of a no-brainer really. So yeah, so I picked up a couple of those. Okay, that is all the stitching, all the haul, the giveaways. So we're going to talk about my 2026 plans. So this is going to be quite a big section, I feel, because I've got a lot to tell you and a lot to show you. Here we go. So 2026, the biggest plan of all, the biggest thing is Stitch from Stash. Yeah, so myself and Bethany and quite a few other people are going to do Stitch from Stash in 2026. So some people are giving themselves a little bit more flexibility than others. You know, it's your Stitch from Stash, it's your rules, I'm not judging. For me, I need to be stitch from stash strict, or just not bother, because if I've given myself too many loopholes, then I'm not going to stick to it. It's as simple as that. So I think Bethany and I are doing the same thing, that we will not buy any charts, fabrics, threads, anything like that. The only time that we will do any kind of shopping is at retreats. Now, we are both going to Big Stitch in June, and I am definitely not going to say I'm not shopping there, because there's going to be some big designers. Stacey Nash is going to be there, Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery. There's going to be some great vendors, so no shopping at Big Stitch would just not be an option. However, other retreats that I've got booked so far are for the Floss Friends retreats, and I don't always buy that much there, so we'll see. But if I want to, I can. But that's it. Nothing else. So no market releases, no new patterns from anyone. Did we? I think the group chat guys have said Barbarana doesn't count. So maybe Barbarana doesn't count for me. I mean, that won't apply to Bethany, as she doesn't like Barbarana's designs. I mean, I'm sure she doesn't know her, so I'm not talking about her as a person, but her designs are not her cup of tea. Whereas me, I'm all over Barbarana designs. So yeah, that might have to be my only exception, but only if I genuinely love what she's putting out. But yeah, generally we are going to be really quite strict with ourselves. So that's my biggest thing for next year. I'll just read out briefly my other plans, and then I'll show you what I've got. So my other plans are to do, I've got January new starts, and my birthday's in January, so I'll tell you my birthday stitching plans. Some seasonal patterns throughout the year. I'm going to do WIP Go, bit different, but I'm doing it. I'm going to work on Saga, because I haven't really worked on that much this year. Need to work on Long Dog Samplers Flirtation. Bethany and I both started that together at a retreat on the 20th of May 2023. So our aim is to have that finished by 20th of May 2026, because it's not very big. It shouldn't have gone on for so long. I'm going to do WIP Mania. So lots of people do Mania where they have however many billions of starts, or however they do it. Lots of people do it very differently. For me, I'm doing WIP Mania, which I'll tell you about. And then every month I will be working on my WIP Go projects, my Quacker to get that finished, and Saga. So this is my journal for next year, the Stitcher's Almanac, which I showed you briefly before. Lots of people have done flip throughs of these on their channels. If you want, Laura has, so if you want to go and look at that. I love this journal. Like I'm literally stalking Hayley at Stitching Cabin. When she says, oh, it's going to come out soon, I'm like stalking her until it arrives, because I just need it in my life. And there's some extra bits and bobs in it this year. I love this year's, and I've already started filling it in. So the Stitching Aspirations, where there's sort of questions to prompt you to write various things in. I'm not going to go through all of that now, but I have done that. There are monthly goals pages for each quarter. Yep. So I am going to fill those in, but I haven't got round to that yet, but I will be. Then are we straight into the... Then we've got Year at a Glance, which again I haven't filled in yet. And then you've got your calendar monthly pages. This is just October, but basically like that. So I usually write my WIPs down here that I've worked on that month. And then obviously I write down each day what I've stitched on. If it's in markup RXP, then I write down the statistics of how many stitches and so on. And if not, I don't. So I don't count my stitches as such, if it's paper. Then after each month, I forgot, is the log page. So for every month. Then we've got the annual tracker. So I just mark off all the days that I've stitched. So for example, this year so far, I have stitched every single day. So hopefully that will continue. Sales and events. So I have so far put in sales that I'm definitely doing, which is only January at the moment. And then retreats that I've got booked. Progress report. I'm not sure if I'll use that. So it's got use sticky notes to move each of your projects through the Kanban board to track its completion. You can also use pencil / erasable pen if you prefer, and it's got 10%, 25%, 50, 75, 100 fully finished. So that might be quite a good one to use. Works in progress is laid out like so that you can pop down the name of your WIP, the designer, fabric, started, finished, and any notes. You've got a progress tracker and a space for a little photo as well. I'm not sure whether I'll use that. I use a separate little journal to write down what my WIPs are, and I'm not sure there's enough pages for 50 plus WIPs. New starts register, which I did use last year, or this year, sorry, and then finishes and accomplishments, which I've also used this year. There's wish list. So wish list is name, designer, and there's a box then to tick if it's promoted to WIP, and notes, and then space for pictures. So that's quite nice. And then there is waiting in the wings, which I also like. So I'm sure lots of you out there have projects that you've bought the pattern for, you've kitted up yourself, you've added fabric and threads, or all threads. You might have threads for one and not fabric or whatever, but they're basically waiting in the wings. So you can keep a record of those in this section. You have name, designer, notes, space for a picture, and then there's little boxes to tick that say chart, fabric, floss. So you can mark off exactly what you've got for that project and what you haven't. So that's a really nice section. So I think I'll be using that. There's the Athenaeum, my personal library in progress, what inspired me, colour ideas, patterns, styles, themes, what did I take away from it, thought, idea or spark I want to remember. So anything you might have seen from craft books, magazine inspiration, Flosstube favourites and stitchspiration. So that's quite a nice section too, to add in a few ideas. If you've seen some, you see something sometimes and you're like, oh, I want to remember that. You can make a note of it in there. This is a section I won't need next year because this is the ledger section where you write down what you've spent. And I won't need that, right? So that will be a non-section for me. Annotations, which is just notes, so some notes pages. Then I have drawn out my WIP Go board on the next page. So then I have worked out my WIP Mania and done a little board for that. Then I think at the end of the journal there is a year in review and stitching awards. So that's a nice section. Your favourite finish, most unexpected WIP, most challenging piece in the year in review, and then stitching awards. You've got things like longest WIP standing, total number of finishes, total number of starts, most colourful creation. So that's going to be great for the end of the year, a bit of a wrap up, which will be nice. And then you've got the 2027 agenda. So that's the book that I'm going to use to track all my progress. All my bits and pieces will be in there. So if we start at the beginning of the year, I'll show you the WIP Go as we go along. Beginning of the year, I've got three January the 1st starts. I know. So there is the Historical Sampler Company new stitch along, which is starting on the 1st of January, called Winter Woodland, not Wonderland like I called it before, Winter Woodland. This was kindly gifted to me along with the gift box, which I showed in a previous video, but this is the kit. So in here I have the linen and threads, gorgeous colour palette, and there's a needle in there somewhere as well. And then I also got, because I got the gift box, I got the, it's upside down, wow, might be a bit glary as well to be honest, the it's quite shiny, little rabbit needle minder. Now I think you can get some of these things separately on their website, so I think you can buy the needle minder, and you can sign up for the stitch along. You can sign up for a kit, you can sign up for a PDF. So yeah, go and have a look. That will all be linked below. So that's one January the 1st start. Another January the 1st start is Caterpillar Cross Stitch are bringing out their January start, new start. Sal is Song of the Seasons. So as you can see there, it is a blurred picture. Oh, I'll try and remember and put a sneak peek picture in the Historical Sampler one. And I will put a picture in here of the sneak peek of the Caterpillar cross stitch one, Song of the Seasons, because that's obviously all blurred out. This is a collaboration with Cheryl McKinnon of Tiny Modernist, so the design has been done by her. And then I was lucky enough to win a £100 voucher from Caterpillar cross stitch this year. So I bought the kit for this stitch along, and I bought the linen, 32 count linen. It's a bit warmer than that. That looks a bit like platinum, but it's not. It's a warmer colour. It's a bit of a sandy colour. It's really nice. And it comes with that and needle there and the gorgeous threads. Look at those colours. And I don't normally buy kits because I've got lots of threads and stuff, but I thought, you know what, it's just going to be so easy. And because I'd got my voucher, it didn't cost me anything at all. Look at those. Gorgeous. I also added on the Stitch Along Needle Minder, which is a gorgeous little birdhouse. So looking forward to starting that as well. I love birds, and I think it's birds from all around the world, so it'll be interesting to see what's on there that I perhaps haven't seen before, or, you know, don't see here, obviously. And then the third January the 1st start, which I haven't told you about before, is the Modern Folk Embroidery Little Acorns Sal. So I'll pop a picture there of the actual design, and then I will pop a picture there of how I'm doing it. So I'm taking out a couple of bits and I've squashed it together and changed it ever so slightly for my taste. And I am going to stitch mine on, 1 second, this gorgeous linen from Swan Bay Fabrics called Pemberley, and it is 40 count. It's a really lovely warm sort of cream, probably like that. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to use again, I've shown you this before, Threadworks floss in the colour 1076. This absolutely amazing thread. So that is my 3 January, I don't know where to put these now, January the 1st new starts. Then on January the 12th, we have another new start. I am in the group on Facebook, Across the Pond Stitch and Chat. I haven't actually joined one of their chats yet. I really should. But they do a stitch along every year. Well, every year. I think it started this year. And next year's is going to be Bees and Birds Sewing Roll Biscornu and Scissor Fob, which is designed by Stacey Nash. And this is the main design, and you can see the scissor fob and the biscornu in there as well. But that is the main design which I am going to stitch. That's absolutely lovely. And Sarah from Sew Me Sarah has organised it really, and she has broken the chart down into manageable pieces, which you can see sort of highlighted here, that we can kind of, if we want to stick to a plan, part 1, part 2 and so on for each month. And the lovely Marie at Stitches and Diamonds and Swan Bay Fabrics has got a fabric pack, fabric and threads pack, thread pack, chart, and basically if you go on her website you can buy the chart, threads and linen all together, or fabric, or you can just buy the fabric, or you can just buy whatever you need. Marie's got it covered. So I bought the chart as a PDF so I can use it in Markup RXP hopefully. And I have gone to the Swan Bay website, well, last night, because it's only recently gone on there, and I have ordered the linen and threads pack. So when that gets here, this will be starting in January. It will be here. It will all be great. This is starting on the 12th of January. So if you are interested, the Across the Pond Stitch and Chat group is free to join. You can join in. You don't have to go to the Stitch and Chat nights. I have never, but I am part of the group, and it's a really friendly group. So yeah, get yourself over there if you fancy a bit of that. So also in January is my birthday, and this year for my birthday start, I started this absolutely stunning design, Mirabilia, Pretty to Think So. And I stitched on it for my birthday, maybe a couple more days, not very much, and then I haven't stitched on it since. So instead of having another new start for my birthday next year I'm going to, so that's where I got to, I'm going to stitch on this on my birthday and beyond hopefully, but definitely on my birthday, to try and get some more progress on it, trying to get the fabric to show the right colour. The fabric is the called for 32 count Permin or Witch Out linen in the colour Prairie Grain. And then I've got all the called for flosses, mostly DMC, 1 Karen Water Lilies, and there's a load of beads, Mill Hill beads, which I have got all of. So that's the 24th of January, which is my birthday. Yeah, so that is January plans. Quite a lot, right? So, you know, none of these plans are fixed. This is what we have to remember as stitchers, okay? We can change our plans, but hopefully not. That's what I want to be doing. So then also in 2026, I'm going to do seasonal pieces. And I have the Primrose Cottage Quakers, the spring, summer, autumn, winter. And then I have since added the Valentine's one and the Christmas one. So as well as doing the 4 seasons, I'm also going to do those 2 as well. So the first one being February. Bethany and I are both doing these, although she's not doing the Valentine one. She's going to do the seasons and Christmas. But we are both using the same, I think, DMC variegated threads. So this is the Valentine's one. This is a PDF, so that's my printout, so it's not a great picture. And I am using DMC 48, which is this pink variegated. I haven't decided on any fabrics yet, but at least the threads are in. So there's that one. Then spring, so that'll be February. Spring in March is this one. I'm going to do mine in a green. So DMC 92, variegated green. Again, need to decide on the fabric. Then in June, there is summer. And I am going to do mine in DMC 90, sunshine yellowy colour. It's washing out a little bit, to be honest. It's a bit more golden than that. Then autumn in September. So these are going to start on I'm going to start them on the first day of each of those seasons. DMC 111, which is quite an autumnally oranges and brownies colour. And then the last, no, not the last one, next to last, winter, which I will start on the first day of winter in December. And that's going to be done in DMC 67. And Christmas. And Christmas is going to be done in DMC 115, that gorgeous variegated red. Again, this one's a PDF, so it's a bit scrappy looking, sorry. So yeah, so excited about those. And like I say, Bethany's doing those as well, apart from the Valentine one. We're running out of space to chuck these. Okay, so then the big thing is WIP Go. So let me show you in my almanac, in my journal, my WIP Go board. So my WIP Go board looks like this. And I've done it a little bit differently this year. So I have put on my WIP Go board just 6 projects, and they are on there 4 times each. Now that is hopefully going to get some really good progress on some of the ones that won't get finished, but also some great progress, maybe some finishes on some of the others. So I will, oh, just banged my elbow, sorry. I will show you all those 6 projects. Then what I have done on this page, I've written down the projects, but what I have also done is done a reserve list. So if anything does get finished, then I have put in 4 things there that will be reserve projects. So for example, after say 2 or 3 times I get Romeo and Juliet finished, then the next time Romeo and Juliet is called, I will substitute from this list. So I thought that was going to be quite good to get a bit of progress on older WIPs maybe. Yeah, so the first one that's on there is my very, very oldest WIP, and it will look like this. This was a Lenate Secret Stitch Along that started in October 2020. So it's already over 5 years old, but that is on that board and will be worked on 4 times next year. I'm not sure it'll get finished in that time, but we'll, you know, well, I'm sure it won't, but it's going to have a good chunk of progress. So let me show you where it is right now. I'll grab my board. So this was on my WIP Go board, was it last year, I think? So it did have a little bit of progress then, but I haven't worked on it this year at all, I don't think. This is where I am at. So I have just been working on it as the parts were released. Lighting goes funny, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. So this fabric is like they sell it as a kit, but not with the charts, and then you have to get the charts through the Facebook group. This is 27 count Linda even weave in just white, I think, and then the threads are DMC as far as I know, but they're not numbered, but they are sorted. So yeah, so that is WIP Go number 1. And hopefully, like I say, that will get some decent progress. And I just briefly mentioned Romeo and Juliet, which is another one. So excuse all my scribbling. This is in Japanese and I had to translate it, and it was all, yeah. So it's a really rubbish little picture, but I haven't even got a better one to insert, to be honest. That is Romeo and Juliet. And this is a design by Kyoko Maruka. I'm sure I'm not saying that correctly. Who designs under the name Gira. I did actually get this from her Japanese website, which was a right old faff, but I managed it in the end. I'm not sure if it's still available. I haven't checked, I'm afraid, and so I don't know. This is where this one is at. That fabric is that colour, bright orange. I think it's a permin called Halloween, called for DMC. And I did work on this on the last Stitch and Chat evening of Floss Friends group on Facebook, because I just needed to fill in all this blue. Obviously I didn't do all of that, but I got the rest of it done, because I'd done everything else in that top bit, in that canopy, and then it was easy to, no counting, just literally get the 3809 I think it was and just fill it in. So yeah, so this side is sort of mirrored from this side, with the same sort of flowers and butterflies and so on, and then she is standing on the balcony, so we need to stitch the balcony in there, but there's not an awful lot left to do on there in some ways. It's a paper pattern, so I don't know how far it is. I would say probably 50% or just under. So that's the second WIP Go, which I have nowhere to put either. Then the third one is Words to Live By Love, and this is by Beth Twist at Heartstring Samplery, and it's basically the Bible verse, love is patient, love is kind. Now I'm doing mine on the called for fabric, which is, I think it's Weeks Dye Works Cocoa, and I think I don't know if it's 30 or 32, I'm afraid. This is going to be quite hard to show because I've got it still half in the Q-snap. So I'm just over 50%. It is a paper pattern, but you can tell when you hold it where you're at. And the called for thread is the sort of grey black thread, which is Weeks Dye Works Coll. which I have used, but I have also inserted, used my own choice of Candy Apple Red, which is also Weeks Dye Works, for all the time that the word love is stitched. It's stitched in that. And in between the words, there was one little stitch. So say between seeking and love, there was one little stitch like a dot, but I've made it more like a heart shape by making it 3 little stitches, and I've done it in the red. So I think it looks really nice. And it's quite an easy stitch, really. I don't mind stitching letters and words. It's not difficult. So yeah, that's about the fabric colour there. So that is the next one. Where are we going to put that? Sorry, bending down. Then I have also put on there the Le Finestra del Tempo patterns. So I started these, I think, it might have been, yeah, 2023. And I think I started them with Rosie, who is Rosie X Stitches. And we started them in the November at a Floss Friends retreat. And we started January with a view to being ahead of ourselves, finishing January so that we could display it in January and then starting, and so on and so on. That didn't quite happen month by month. I did get January to June complete, and then it all sort of fell apart after that. So I started July, and then I was going on a retreat and decided, because it was going to be the 1st of October, I would start October. So I have got July and October as WIPs, but basically I've put La Finestra del Tempo on there loose. So what I'm going to do is work on July first, which my progress looks like that, which should be a finish really in a couple of sessions, I would have thought. I will have to put a picture in here of, so they come in like 3 separate charts that you buy with 4 charts on. So you get January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So I'll pop a picture in here with the one that's got July on it, so you can see how that will look. And this is mine. These are all being stitched on 32 count Murano even weave in light taupe with the called for DMC, again predominantly. I think there's been odd changes as I've gone along. So I will work on the July one because it's already a WIP. And then I think I will probably work on the October one because it's already a WIP. And then after that, if they all get finished before the end of the year, which they should do, then I will go back like to August and carry on. So October will look like this. And this is where I got to on my October. That fabric is a bit warmer than that. It's really blowing it out. But again, this is on the same fabric with Cord 4 DMC. So yeah, so that will be whatever the La Finestra del Tempo that is next will be getting worked on there. Then I have also added on Barbara Anna Designs Christmas Cat. I love her. And this is where she is at. I think she might be nearly 50% or over 50%. Absolutely gorgeous. This is on 32 count Murano even weave. So I got in the colour Basalt Splash with all the called for DMC. And she looks gorgeous. So yeah, get some more progress on her. I'm not bothered about stitching kind of Christmas in whatever month it might be called, so that's fine. And then the last one on the WIP Go board is The Great Outdoors by Stitching Cabin. This, oh, let me pop a picture in of The Great Outdoors because it was a stitch along. It has long finished. Started at the beginning of this year. And this is where I am at. I can't remember what month I'm in. Might be May, I'm not sure. But there's more to come. So there is some Krynic in there. I don't know whether that will show up. And it's the called for DMC on Permin 32 count linen in beautiful beige. I have swapped the fox colour DMC and the yellow, which you probably can't hardly see, but there's yellow beaks on the owls. Can't remember the fox DMC. I have said it in other videos, and if you really want to know then just ask. But yeah, might be 3826. because the called for wasn't very fox coloured at all. So that is the actual WIP Go project, which I've got a kind of mountain of down there now. Then, because some of those may get finished, now if the La Finestra del Tempo gets finished, then I will work on the next one of those. So that won't incorporate like bringing in a reserve, because I'm going to try and get as many of those done as possible. But any of those bigger ones, if they do get finished, the reserves are Reaching Skyward, which is this. Now Jacob also designed it slightly differently, so you could pick and choose. So this one has got like the deer on the top, and you can see all the sort of motifs that it's got on there. And then this one has got swans and slightly different motifs. I am picking and choosing the bits that I really like from both of them. And I am actually only doing this top part. So like I call it the fireplace that's at the top. So I will bring this border down across here and do this top part. This is my WIP Go call for December. So this will get worked on in December this year first. But after that, it is going on the WIP Go reserves list. I'll just wrangle this, I can show you where I am at. This is on 32 count, so I got linen in the colour platinum. That's where it's at. So beautiful. So I've got quite a lot of that top bit done, to be honest. This is using the called for DMCs, which are I think 3045 and 932 maybe. I will have to put on the screen the actual DMCs because I might have messed that up. But yeah, that's where it's at so far. So that will have some progress, like I say, this month. And then that will be on the WIP Go reserve list. Also on the WIP Go reserve list is Cat Lovers, which is Jardin Privé. If you want to see this finished, absolutely gorgeous, you need to go and look at Sherry, Just So Sherry. She finished it into a cushion. It's a little while back, but it's absolutely beautiful. She changed the cat colours to colours of cats that she either does have or has had. So it was really nice. Bethany and I are stitching this together. We started it Christmas one year. She's further ahead than me, obviously. This is mine where it's at so far. Not that far, but it's a reserve, so we'll see how that goes, right? Then the next reserve is Lily, Animal Crackers by Stacey Nash Designs. Everyone has seen Lily the Frog, I'm sure, in her gorgeous pink dress. And mine looks like this. And it's on some kind of linen, probably 32. Not actually sure what it's on. And it is the cord, but it is the called for threads. So yeah, she's just got a face and a throat. And next is this design, which was a cotton and twine design back in May 2023. This was a design and a box that I purchased myself. This was before I was getting them gifted. And Charlie Feathers and I started this together. She's long since finished. And I have got a very poor start, really. This is on the supplied linen that came in the box and the supplied DMC. I think I did change up the flower colour maybe. It's really washed out. It's lovely and bright. And that fabric is... No, it's not the supplied fabric. Is it? I don't think it is the supplied fabric. I think it's something that I got out myself. Is it Vintage Country? Yeah. It's 32 count linen in Vintage Country Mocha, but I'm using the plain side, not the vintage side. So that's that one. And then, is that the last? So that's the last reserve. So I've got 4 reserves. So they will come into play if any of the bigger projects, not the Fenestrad or Tempo, get finished at any point throughout the WIP Go year. Okay, let's whiz on to I'll show you the Long Dog Samplers Flirtation that I just briefly talked about before. So this needs to be finished by the 20th of May 2026, and this is the design. It's a Long Dog Samplers Peccadillo, so it's a smaller design, and this is where mine is at. Oh, it's so pretty. This is on 36 count, so I got linen in the colour platinum, and the reason I chose 36 count, which is not my go-to at all, is because I'm using a sulky thread. Gorgeous. So yeah, so there's quite a bit to do on that really to have it finished by May, but you know, we'll give it a whirl, right? And then the other thing that I will be working on all year, and I am going to bring back hashtag Saga Sundays, because I used to work on my Saga project every Sunday and call it Saga Sunday. And this is Saga, for those that haven't seen it, by Long Dog Samplers. Huge project. I was hoping to have got to 5% by the end of this year. It's at 4.96%, so we're calling that 5%, right? This is on 32 count Permin linen in the colour Pink Sand, which is a bit pinker than it's showing. That's the linen colour really. And then the two DMCs are 3685 and 3687. Oh, it's so pretty. So yeah, I will be working on this every Sunday. Hashtag Saga Sundays. So if you have Saga in your stash as a WIP or a chart, and you want to get some work on it, then, you know, feel free to join in. Kerry from Colourfully Cross Stitched, we were chatting yesterday, and she's starting Saga in the new year, so she's going to do Saga Sundays with me, so that would be really great. Yeah, so that is January's stitching. That is, got my notes over here, seasonal stitching, WIP Go and reserves, Saga, Flirtation, and now WIP Mania. So like I said before, lots of people do Mania where they have lots of new starts, or they work on things that they started in the last Mania, previous year. I have done a version of WIP Mania before when I only had a few WIPs back in the day. I did WIP Mania and I worked on one project for a whole week, did a before and after photo at the beginning and the end, and see how much, you know, progress you get. So I'm going to do a similar thing this year. So in May I am going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 sections, and I am going to work on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, good grief, 5 days per project, except for the WIP Go days, which will have 6 because they have 3 each. So from the 1st to the 5th of May, 6th to the 10th, 11th to the 15th, 16th to 20th, they will all have WIPs on. And then the 21st to the 26th, I will do my WIP Go numbers for May, which obviously I don't know what they'll be until nearer the time, but I will do my 2 weekday evenings and the weekend day and so on those. And then the 27th to the 31st will be another WIP. This is the board that I have sort of designed for WIP Mania. And what I'm going to try and do is, by the side of each one, any one that is digital, I will write down the stitches and the progress percentage or whatever. Or any of them actually digital. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. Depends what the WIP Go numbers are. 3 of those are on Markup RXP. And then obviously the WIP Goes maybe. So Night Riders is on there as the first one, because the last day of April or the first day of May is halfway to Halloween. So when you Google it, that's what it tells you. Some people use the end of the 30th of April, and some people use the 1st of May as being halfway to Halloween. So I'm using the 1st of May, and that is why Night Riders is on there. This is a picture of what Night Riders will look like when it's finished. This is a design by Love Claire at Love Poppet, and this was her Halloween stitch along. Gosh, I don't even know if it was last year, maybe even been the year before. and Claire very kindly gifted me the kit for this, so I do feel quite bad that I haven't actually got it finished. She dyed the fabric herself. It's a 32 count even weave, and she supplied that and all the threads and the chart every month or however often we got it, back when we got it. And I didn't even finish part 1. That is shocking. Although I have started in the wrong place as well. So there's a chance I'll run out of space. So this is part of part 1. Now, loads of people have finished this and it's absolutely stunning. The most recent finish I've seen is Tan, CXC by Tan, the monogamous stitcher. She's just finished hers and it's absolutely stunning. This moon, as it comes round, is beautiful. It's a bit faffy to stitch, but it's so worth it when it's done. So that's where I am at. And I just want to try and get as much progress as I can in those 5 days, really. Yeah, the fabric is lovely. I started in the wrong place because when the part came, markup showed the centre, but it was the centre of that part, not the centre of the whole design. So there's a chance that my margins, one side and probably at the bottom, were going to be very tight slash, I don't know, but I'd done way too much to unpick it and I wasn't going to, so I'm just rolling with it. But you can see that there's quite a big gap between the top of the moon and the top of my fabric. There's quite a lot of fabric there. Worst case scenario, I'll have to cut a strip off there, sew it on the bottom and just go with it, because yeah. So that is WIP Mania number 1. Then WIP Mania number 2 is going to be my Quacker, because this needs to be finished by the end of June by Big Stitch. Now, if you were here at the last video, I had not stitched on the Quacker in December because I got my up to where I needed to be by the end of December in November, so that I didn't have to stitch on it in December. This is the Quacker, and lots of people started it at Big Stitch last year and aiming to finish it by Big Stitch next year, so I joined very late, but I am kind of on track. So this is, I think it's at just over, yeah, just over, you might not be able to, I might not be able to, it's just over 50%. Oh, that looks really weird. It's not showing very well, is it? Let me try and put this board behind it, but it's probably not really big enough. So that's where I am at. That middle motif here is what I did the most recently. And yeah, that was, it is a bit of a big one. That doesn't look like it's focusing to me, but maybe it is to you guys. Did have to do some frogging, but got there in the end. So because I need to work on this every month to get it finished for Big Stitch at the end of June, I've had, you know, not had to because I want to, but had to put it on the WIP Mania, otherwise there wouldn't be a space for it. So that's going on second. Then third on the WIP Mania is Big Stitch Big Tree. You know, in my spare time, I would like to have this finished by Big Stitch, because obviously this was the chart that Jacob designed and signed for Big Stitch in 2024. So it would be lovely if it was finished. I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath, but yeah, it would be great. This is a paper pattern, so I don't know where it's at. Sort of, I mean, it's not 50% or anything like that. Might not even be 25, to be honest, because I have only got that. That's quite a good colour for the fabric. The fabric is 32 count linen by Northumberland Sampler House. I think it's called Sandstone. I will pop it across the screen because it might be Biscuit. I'll pop it across the screen what the real name is. And the thread is a Valdani stranded cotton called, in the colour Proud Turkey, which is one of my favourite reds. It's a gorgeous stitch. I would love to have it finished for Big Stitch, but yeah, there's still quite a lot to do on there, because I would also like to finish WIP Mania number 4 project, which is Put a Bird on It, because I bought this at Big Stitch 2024 from Jacob, so therefore would love to have this finished as well. So got a lot of big plans, right? I have, like I said, worked on this in November because it was my last WIP Go number, and this is where it is at now. So for WIP Go, I have stitched the blue motif at the top there, the swan, and the dark green motif there, the big one. That was about 1,320 stitches, which is a lot for me, over the 3 days, or 4, sort of 1.5 weekend days, or a day over the weekend and a couple of evenings. But I really love this design, so that's on there. Then the next one will be the WIP Go numbers from the 21st to the 26th. And then the last WIP Mania project is the country, what does she actually call it? Country Cottage. I call it Country Cottage Sampler. This is a design by Moira Blackburn, and it was kitted by Bothy Threads. I think this is still available on the website. It's a really lovely design. This section is not my favourite, and I might not stitch that section. I might move it all up a bit. I'm not 100% sure yet. And this is where mine is at the moment. Oops. Pull the hanging threads down. So I switched out the fabric from the kit, which was a parchment Ada, and I'm using 32 count. So I got linen in the colour, I think it's just cream, and I'm using all the kit threads. Oh, it's so pretty. So yeah, so that is the last WIP Mania project. So that's the plans. Now, that's not going to be it. Like, you know, if I want a new start, I'll have a new start. Other sals will probably come up from Historical Sampler Company, for example, which are usually gifted to me. So that's not going to break the stitch from stitch from stash rules. So there will be other things come in. And obviously, I hopefully will be able to stitch on some of my other WIPs, because currently I have 49. Then, like, there's 3 starting on January the 1st, so that's, and 1 on the 12th, so that's 4 more in January. So yeah, so it's going to be, I'm going to be starting 2026 over 50 WIPs. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, right? But that's what I would really like to be able to stick to. Now, I have stuck to my hair a month project this year. I have stuck to WIP Go this year. I have, as I've gone along, maybe swapped a project here and there on WIP Go, but I have still completed all my WIP Goes. So, oh well, I've got December to go, but they're planned in. So, you know, it bodes well for next year, to be honest. I'm not bothered about my WIP count. It doesn't particularly stress me out. So, you know, that is what it is. And it's just a number, right? And if they don't ever get started, they're never going to get finished, right? So we'll see how that goes. So this is quite a long video because of all that waffle about next year. If you've got to the end, thank you so much. If you've got any comments, pop them below. If you know, are joining me on any of these plans and challenges, if you are going to stitch along with any of these projects that I'm going to be starting, like the seasonal ones, or any of the other sals, like the Historical Sampler, or the Modern Folk Embroidery, or the Stitch Across the Pond one, any of those, or the Capital Cross Stitch, or yeah, anything at all, do let me know. I mean, you know me, I love a sal being start along, right? Because you will finish before me, but it's still good to stitch along, right? And if you have any questions, if I have said, oh, I've changed that and I haven't mentioned it, or I've forgotten to write things on the screen or whatever, and yeah, then do ask me and I will get back to you. My email's below. You can comment, you can Instagram message me, lots of ways to get in touch. So like I said, if you've got this far, thank you so much for watching, and I will be back in 2 weeks with my regular Flosstube, and I will tell you what I'm going to do for my end of year wrap up video, which will come in between Christmas and New Year. But for now, that's it. Happy stitching!